Good morning. Just got up this morning, started tending to the quail, and getting ready to feed them. They were out of water and food, so I mean they growing. That means they're growing. I got to start watching them, and probably have to start filling up their little water bowl twice a day now. I can't have them running out. It's too hot down here, number one. Number two, there's a bunch of them in there, and they're growing, and they're eating the food, and they're drinking the water up pretty quick. Good morning, ladies, and Rue. I had to come make sure Rue was still alive. I didn't hear you crowing this morning. Hey, Rue, you doing okay, huh? And there's Rue there, you guys. It's the new addition to the flock. And we'll see what happens. We're waiting to see if we're going to get any baby chicks. I've been checking the eggs to see if I see any little dot in it or anything. Nothing yet. And I don't see any activity going on with him mating with them. And I think, and I'm not sure, and I need to probably just do some research, and I could probably find out pretty quick. When the ladies are molting, I don't think breeding goes on, because it's not happening here. So that might be true. So I'll probably look it up and find out, but that seems like it's the case going on here. He's not doing anything, and even after they come out of molting, if he doesn't do anything, I'm gonna have to get rid of him, because I got him for a certain purpose, and that was to reproduce. And if you don't reproduce, I'm not gonna keep feeding them. I'll have to sell them or eat them. Rue. He's supposed to be only 1.5 years old. That's what the lady said. You see how they look when they're molting, huh? They lose all their feathers. They look like something's wrong with them. Look a little sickly kind of looking, but they bounce back pretty good. Got some ladies up there. I really wanted to separate the buffs and put them on one side with him, and that way I knew those eggs would be the ones that are buffs, but the buffs lay brown eggs, and the other ones are laying the green. The green eggers laying green eggs. So I'd be able to tell the difference in the eggs anyway, you know. So anyway, look at how beautiful. This is a cherry tree. I hadn't planted it in the ground yet. I've just been keeping it in a pot. But I want to show you all the blossoms on it. It's beautiful. So beautiful. Here we go. Look at right there. Look at all that. Look how beautiful that is. Blossoms all up in here. Look. Look. Beautiful little flowers. I'm going to have full. They're just full. The tree is full. You can look up in there, up here. I'm hoping you can see what I'm seeing. I hope it's showing up good. It is beautiful to see all this, to see all the pinkish purple colors. And there's some white ones, white right here. That's kind of new. Strange. So I think what I'll do, guys, let's do a tour. Let me take you on a tour. I got some new people lately, some new subscribers. Kind of want to tell you a little bit about me. I live in the city. No, it's not a big city. It's a small city outside of a big city, but it's still city. We have city-sized lots. I forgot the size of my lot. I think it's 60 or 55 by 120, something like that. So I'm coming out in the front. out in the front of my house here so that you could just get a look at my tiny house. It's kind of a tiny house. We're right at a little bit over, not much, over 1,000 square feet. I mean, I don't even think we had 1,100 square feet. The house is 30 by 35, whatever that comes out to be. That's what we have. Okay, so this is what's going on. I have this little portion of grass growing here that I'm thinking about putting some bushes along here. I got all concrete here. I got this little bit of grass right here. Okay, so now of course I had this little area in between by the front of the house here. So I got blueberries planted in there, and they did great this year. And I still got some berries left on the trees, as you can see. They still have berries, and but it's slowing up now. And I'm fixing to clear this. That's what I'm gonna do today. My project today. I'm gonna rake all these leaves out, get rid of this. I'm gonna put this in one of these pots here, because I'm gonna take these two blueberry bushes that's in the pots, and I'm gonna plant them out here. And I'm gonna border this off. And I bought some pine needles right there, and I'm gonna load this up with pine needles, because, you know, I don't have the kind of soil for blueberries. I got to treat my soil, and using pine needles is one way. It adds acid to the soil. So I'm gonna get in here. That's my project this morning. But anyway, so in this part of my yard, front yard, where my driveway, I have that round driveway. I took the whole area, and for the last 5 years I had just been packing it with wood chips. I would get wood chips every year, and so last year I went ahead and started planting stuff in here. So I have a huckleberry right here. Didn't put no berries out this year, but it probably will next year. This is a little kumquat here. Look, and if you look real close, she's full of little bitty kumquats. So I mean, it won't be long, and I'll be eating off this tree. We did last year, did really well, did a lot on it for this first year, and it looks like it's triple this year what was on it. That's my elderberry. As you can see, the little flowers, the little petals are dropping, and there's the berries. And waiting for the berries to start turning black. So I got, this is first year. I planted it was real small, and it's kind of grown pretty tall. It's probably, let's see, that's going to be 8, so that's probably 9 to 10 feet tall. I got some flowers on the top, and got some flowers here in the front, and I got some in the back here. So that's all we have. I don't have a whole lot more flowers than that, but we're gonna go ahead and after we get the berries, I'm gonna cut it way down and propagate a bunch of it, and let it grow again for next year. I don't want this thing to get 15-20 feet tall, and I want to be able to easily get to the berries on it, you know. So anyway, last year also I had purchased a dwarf Cavendish plant tree, and out of it it had a lot of pups coming out, and I had gotten 5 trees out of it. So there's one, here's another one, 2, there's one there, there's 3, one right here, 4, and one back there. It's 5. So I got 5 of them, and I already got 9 pups off of them so far this year that I have sitting in the back, and just kind of they're not dying. I just got to wait for them to look a little better than they look to sell them. So anyway, all right. So we have the 5 Cavendish. I have the kumquat, and we got the elderberry growing here. Now this tree here is my loquat, which man, it was full. I mean, when I tell you full of fruit, it was full of fruit. and we had that Arctic blast that came through this year, and it killed all the fruit. As probably you could see, let's see right there, there's some of it. See how all the fruit turned black. So it's all turning black and falling off. So we should be getting some flowers later on, I think by the fall, and we'll probably get some fruit next spring. So we'll see how that works out. I also have some other banana trees back here that every year I get bananas. I get 150 to 200, maybe 250 bananas a year back here. And that's not going to happen if I don't get back here and cut some of these older trees out of there. I need to get in there and fix that up so I can get me some bananas. Also, what I'll do is I'll put a link in the description here about maintaining banana trees, because I got a video on it and I show how I maintain them, and this is how I get my bananas every year. And I'm kind of behind schedule this year. Just all kind of things going on, but you know, hey, that's part of life, and you gotta just deal with everything. So here's some pups here, but I need to break these pups off, because if I don't take those off, that mama right there that's putting them out is not going to put out no bananas this year. And if I take those off, she'll grow up and put out a flower and start producing some bananas. So I got to get in here and get some of this cut out of here. There might be another project that I might work on today. I don't know. I'll have to see how much time I got. Right now it's getting really hot, so I try to get things done in the morning, then I come back in the evening and do things because it's so hot. This is my mulberry tree, and it's doing pretty good. It was a little bitty thing that it started off kind of rough, but she's doing good. So I've been cutting branches off of it. I got about 15 of them right now propagating, and they look like they're all taken pretty good. This is a kiwi. It's looking pretty good and green. I'm glad she's looking good. Here's another kiwi that's got a little yellowish going on. I don't know what's going on with it yet. I need to watch it a little more. There's my fig tree. That's a Celeste fig. I have several different fig trees on my property right now. This is the one I got planted here in the front, and it was just a little bitty thing when I first planted it, and it's doing really well. It's got a bunch of figs on it. It's growing really well. There's some comfrey back there. I just planted not that long ago, and I'm probably going to stick me some more comfrey along the back. Get some more comfrey in here. I found that the comfrey does well in indirect sunlight. This whole garden in the front is basically an indirect sunlight, so things are not really thriving like they would be in the sun. You know, like for instance, this Cavendish back here is smaller than all of them because it gets less sun. But you can see there's a new leaf coming out, and it's not stopping it from growing. It's growing, and I could possibly move it. Maybe, I don't know yet. I was thinking about moving it up here, and because this is going to be gone after today. I need these barrels. I'm going to use these barrels. I'm going to put those trellises in these two barrels. I got two barrels. I got 3 trellises actually, but I'm going to get 2 of them going and get the dragon fruit going. I had dragon fruit last year that was growing tremendously, doing great. I didn't get no fruit yet. It takes a little while, but that Arctic blast killed it, and thank God I had some saved in the greenhouse, and it's doing well. It's doing well. Back here, right there and right there, that's 2 papaya trees I planted. So they looking really well. They did good. They usually don't do too good on a transplant. These 2 did fine. Got a little bit of yellowish on the leaves, but that's to be expected when you transplant these. Usually they lose a lot more leaves than that, but they did fine. Right here is some sugar cane I planted last year, and it all died off, and this came up this year without me even planting any. So we'll see. We'll let it grow out and see what happens with it. I had a dragon fruit right here, but I'm going to be taking that out too. This right here is a pomegranate tree. The variety is the wonderful pomegranate, and nothing happened this year. No flowers and nothing. So possibly next year will be the year. Okay, so this kind of concludes what's in my front yard food forest, and it's still growing. I'm still doing things. Still want to put more in it because I want it to be really packed with stuff like a forest. I want to have different things, and different things help each other grow. I got this vine growing on here, which I'm going to have to get down here and get these vines out of here. These vines will take over. I've still got room to do something up here. So I got plenty comfrey that I need to get planted too. So anyway, so this is kind of a look at it from this angle. See where my driveway turns here, and all of this. The property line's right back here, where them bricks are back here. That's my neighbor's. That was something I had in the front. I planted it. It didn't take. It died. I'm gonna pull it. I'm gonna yank it up. It wasn't edible. It's just something we had. I'm growing all edibles now, and I want to get into a couple of other medicinal type of things. Some flowers that we can grow, that we can get medicinal benefits from. Okay, so that takes care of my front yard, you guys. Now, as we enter into the backyard, just recently, not that long ago, a couple of months back, I moved my gate up here to the front. My gate was back here at the back of my house, and there was a gate back there, so I moved it to the front to incorporate all of this in my backyard, because I've always, and this was always on the outside of the gate, but I've always had this growing here, and this is back here is where I grow my blackberries. Well, they pretty much produced already and dying out, but all the new growth for next year, you can see right here, that's all new growth, and all through here I got green growing back there. It's hard to see. I got all these trees. I sell trees for a living, and I run the trees along here, but that's why it's hard to see. But that's right there is a Scarlet Beauty plum tree right here. I just planted it last year. She a lot of growth on her. She was very small when I put her in. I got some tomato plants growing back here, and I got some eggplant growing on the bottom. Everything's doing good back here, because when the sun comes up, it's right now this time of year, it's straight up, and all of this gets sun. The sun will be hitting here in the next hour, and they'll have sun all day. There's another plum tree, and I'm not sure. I think it's a methley, and for some reason, last month it dropped all its leaves and dropped every leaf, and it was bare, and I thought it was dying, and then all of a sudden it's putting these leaves out. So maybe that Arctic blast we had did something to it. So I'm gonna let it sit, because my plan was, when it started doing that, I was gonna dig it up and plant me another plum tree. But I guess I'm gonna wait and see what she does. Okay, now back there I built some trellises, and I had some kiwi planted back there, but all the kiwi died. So I got these trellises with nothing planted back there yet, but I think what I'm going to do, I decided I'm going to plant, I have some dwarf tamarellos, and that's what I got right here. I just planted these in here, and they'll grow and take this up, and they won't put no fruit out this year. It'll be next year when they fruit. But I got some right here, dwarf tamarellos, and I'm going to plant them along there, because they take 2 years before they fruit, and then they'll live for several years after that and put fruit out. And it's a little citrusy type of fruit. The tree's in the tomato family, but it's a citrusy tasting fruit, so it's interesting to me. I bought some seeds, and they were hard to start, but I got them going. So I think I'm going to plant them all back there, and I'm going to do that this evening. I'm going to do it in the evenings because it's really hot. If I do it in the day, they might not make it through the transplant. And all right, so let's get moving in my yard here. So this is where, you know, I basically have all my trees that I sell. Now back here, if I can get in here, let's see, I have a lemon tree. It's a Myers lemon. That's mine. full of lemons. You can see all the lemons on it. Let me see if I can get into it another way, maybe. Come over here. Move some of this back. There we go. There we go. There she is there, and she's 2 years old. And right now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I mean, from where I'm at, just what I can see is 10 lemons. It's his first year putting out the fruit. 2-year-old tree. Then we come over here a little bit, and right here is my peach tree, which this year I had over 250 peaches on it. So I cut the branches back because the branches were way out here, hitting on the swing. They were out here hanging down, hitting the ground. It had so much fruit on it. So I cut them back, and then this fall I'm gonna actually prune it even better. Back here on that stake right there is a mandarin. It's a clementine mandarin, and I had a few. I had about 7 mandarins last year. So I'm waiting to see what happens this year. I thought I'd have some flowers by now, and maybe I'm thinking that Arctic blast that we had came in and kind of messed the cycle up on the citrus trees, because a lot of the trees I had, like here's a satsuma tree that was full of blossoms, and I had some fruit on it, but everything after that Arctic blast fell off. So I'm okay with it because the tree looks like it's okay. The tree lived, but it knocked the fruit off. This is my tree here that I got in the pot here, and I want to change this pot to something taller like these. These are way too low. I don't really care for them. But this is a Eureka variegated pink lemon tree, and this, look at the picture there. It's supposed to look in here. Look at that. I got 2 of them right there. I got a little cluster of them right here coming up. A couple of them here. That looks like a new bud there. So this tree did well through the frost. And I did lose some stuff. I did cut some that did have some damage from the cold. So anyway, this right here is my olive tree, first year, and it's got plenty little olives growing on it. And the cold, that Arctic blast we had didn't really affect the olive tree. So it's doing well. Got plenty little olives for its first year. I'm kind of happy about it. This is a avocado tree, which it's kind of been staying looking like this to me. I don't know if the leaves look a little curled. So I'm backing off on watering it. I think I was watering it a little bit too much. Plus we were getting a lot of rain, and I was watering. I should have probably left it alone. So I'm gonna leave it alone. This tree right here is a red grapefruit tree, and I lost a lot of the fruit on that too, with that that Arctic blast we had. But I got 1 here, and I got 2 there. So there's 3, and then I got this one here, just 4. And I don't think I have any more. I think I just have the 4. And they happen to stay on the tree, because I come out every day, man, and see the little fruit on the ground. We had some bad weather for a while there. This is a navel orange tree I got growing, and the same thing happened with it, but I got a few oranges on it. 1, 2, and I got 3 right here, and I got 1 up there, 4, 5. So I got like 5 oranges. So I'm happy with that. I mean, this is all first year stuff. Here's a lime tree I got in the pot, and I got some limes on it right there. I got a little bunch growing there, another batch there. There's a nice sized one there. I got little ones there. So this tree looks like it's going to put out a lot of limes. That's Persian limes. All right. This is what they call a calamundan, and it's a citrus, like an orange. It's in the orange family, like a very small orange, and they're kind of like a kumquat, but they don't taste like a kumquat. They taste more like a lime, actually. And so there that is. Now, over here, which I'm letting it kind of grow out some, is that's asparagus, and so I'm letting them grow, letting the roots get bigger on them, so so that next year I might be able to. Next year they should be bigger enough to pick and eat. I put one papaya tree in here, and I had a dragon fruit there, and it was doing the best out of all my trellises I had, because this was getting sun only in the morning. By 2 o'clock you get shade right here, and it was really the tree was doing, I mean, the dragon fruit was growing like crazy, and I think it was so what I'm saying that because when I get my other ones going, I'm probably going to set them back here and let them grow back here, that way they're not getting constant sun all day long. This is a moringa tree that I got going here, and I know it looks a little shabby, but she was beautiful looking, and it was in a pot. It was in that pot right there, and that tree, which is a little cherry tree, was planted here, and I swapped it. I took the cherry tree out and put it in a pot, and I put this in the ground here, and then I put some comfrey around it. So all of this is kind of just done, and every leaf fell off of the moringa, because they kind of do that when you transplant them. And now this is, in a couple of days, all this is growing back. So she's gonna do well. In a matter of probably 2 more weeks, this thing's gonna not even look like that it had anything missing on it. The comfrey will do well here. It does get beat up by the sun. It's more like they put comfrey underneath trees because they get some shade. So hopefully when she starts growing, it'll shade it some and help protect the comfrey. So this part of my yard here, you guys. Like I said, it gets sun around 2 o'clock, starts coming out here, and it starts covering up. So I usually grow stuff more on this side. This was a potato bed. As you can see, there's 2 potatoes there that we left, forgot about. We had a little bed going back here, some kohlrabi, and we still eating it. And I see a couple. I had left a couple in here, still growing. But I'm gonna be taking all this out, you guys, and these are my 2 compost piles. Here's some quail, and I've been letting them just dump in that compost pile. But I'm gonna be moving this to another section, and and I'm gonna start. I'm gonna till this ground up and level it out and fix it all up here. And it ain't big. That's all I have though, because the rest of my yard, as you can see, is concrete. It's because I used to have a business back here where we drove forklifts, and so I had to concrete my yard. And so I got this area here, which I'm actually going to make my little farmland, and I'm going to grow stuff on the ground, not in the raised beds, but on the ground. And it's just going to be different things to feed the animals. I want to get down what I'm going to need to take care of my animals, because if something happens, if just something happens in the world, and you can't get feed anymore for your animals, I want to be able to provide for my animals. I don't have farmland, I don't have acres, so I can't grow anything for them, and they have to be totally dependent, because they can't even free range. They have to be totally dependent on grains and feed, and so I want to grow some here, and I'm gonna and I need to start now, because I'm sure it's going to take me a couple of years to get it down, you know, of what I really want to grow. You know, stuff that'll grow maybe quick, that I could chop down and they regrow again. But anyway, this is the part of my yard here where I'm going to be, okay, well, from that yard, let's move over. I might be jumping ahead. But because I have concrete, I make these elevated beds. And they do great, you guys. I'll tell you what, great. And I just harvested a bunch of stuff out of them, and got new stuff growing in them. This one here, I make a salad bar. It really won't be a salad bar right now, because look at that worm. Okay, and it's not going to be a salad bar now. I mean, look at that. Okay, I thought that was a worm. Okay, it's not. I was going to say, look at the way that worm looks. That's my jalapeno peppers here. I got peppers and beans growing. Oh, I got a little herb garden back here. It's an elevated bed. I got rosemary, parsley, basil, oregano, thyme, onion chives. I got all that growing in that little garden there, which I got to probably get in there and do some stuff. Let me see, because I've been kind of neglecting this because it's kind of hard to get to back here. But once I move, yeah, see, yeah, all this went to seed, which is cool. I'll get me some seeds off of it. That's another thing I'm learning. I've been learning how to save seeds, because if things get rough, it's going to be rough to get seeds. So all this is going to come out, and I'm going to put my compost piles, you guys, in the back here. And I got a bunch of lumber here that I got for free. I went and tore down a deck, and I'm going to build me a big pen right here. And I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to do. I kind of want to have it ready in case I can put anything I want to put in it. Maybe like raise 2 pigs. I was thinking about raising 2 pigs for meat, or if I have to separate Roo, because he's the only roost I have to separate him and his ladies and put them separate. Maybe I'll do that. But I really would like to raise me 2 pigs back here, and I can put my compost piles right here where the concrete is, in this little area. I got one little area back here that's got grass. It's only got mud grass on top, because below, about 8 inches below this, there's a slab. And I know you're seeing something right there, but I'll tell you what that is in a minute. But there was a slab, because when I bought the house, there was a shed here on a slab. So down below, because this concrete I poured is 8 inches thick, you guys. So about 8 inches down is a slab. And then I did granite for a living, so I had some slabs left over that I filled the ground in there almost all the way up, and then I threw mud on top of it, and then that's what's growing. So there's really nothing really below that. It's all concrete and granite, you know. So if I put some pigs in there and they dig, it's only going to be on the top here. They're not really going to be able to dig out, because they can't. Once they hit the granite under there, they won't be able to get up under anything, you know what I mean? So that's what I'm thinking about doing, you guys, you know. So I have this area here. I'm fixing to build me another raised bed here. I want to get me not a raised, an elevated bed. I'm going to be videoing that and showing you how I do it. And there's a couple little things that I want to show you what I do that you can't see just looking this way. But there's some things that's inwardly that I do. That's my beehive there that I lost my bees last year. They swarm. And really it was kind of a godsend that that happened, because I wanted to get rid of this, and I want to still go with the horizontal hive, but I want to make it square so I can use the Langscroft frames in it, because as you can see from the side here, this is not square. It kind of goes down. It's a more triangular look, because it's kind of like what happens in the natural. But I had so much trouble with it, and I never did. I had it for a couple of years and never did get any honey out of it, because I was always having trouble with everything crossing over, and it just wasn't working out. So I like the idea of horizontal. I think that's going to work out better than stacking. I like that idea better, and I even could make one a little bigger, you know, a little longer here, and I think that's what I'm going to do. And I actually was thinking about making it longer and even divide, you know, have a wall in the middle and have two different hives. So I'm going to be working on that soon too, and I'll video that for you, and I'll show you how I'm going to build that. Because I'm ready to get my bees. I noticed a major difference in my garden here without having bees. So I'll be building another raised bed, and you think, well, all you have is just these few raised beds, but man, you can pack stuff in it, and I usually get a lot of stuff, you guys. This is a little greenhouse I built last year. I bought this off of Amazon. It was real cheap, man. It was $100 bucks, 99 bucks or something like that, 150, something really cheap. And I knew that when I got it, that, you know, it wasn't going to be nothing that could withstand any of the winds that we get down here, with hurricane force winds and all that. I knew that, but I figured out if I reframed it in the inside, and actually I only spent 250 bucks, you guys, and I got a 9-foot, it's 9 foot this way, 10 foot deep greenhouse, and I use it the hell out of it, man. I use it a lot. I got some grow lights going in it. I got plants going on in it. I got some things that need indirect light right now, just staying in here. Like these are vanilla. That's vanilla. That's vanilla. And some of them don't look good, but I got to let them sit a while and see if they take. Spent a lot of money on those. But it's an orchid. They're in the orchid family. That's some coffee back there. That's coffee. This is some comfrey. I had busted up some of the root, and I made 1, 2, 3, 4. I made 4 more plants that I'm gonna yeah, see this little one? It was a little bitty root I stuck it in. Look how it's starting to grow, so it's doing good. This is a mulberry cuttings I was telling you about when I trimmed the mulberry. Look at this. This one's doing good, but they're all of them have the little buds coming out, and they're all getting the little buds on them. They all don't look green yet, but they look brown first, and then they start turning green. Up back here I got elderberries growing. I see roots down here already, so I'm getting I see roots. Hey, look at that. You can see little roots are growing. So I'm gonna leave these in here a while, maybe another month, and then plant them to make trees. This is huckleberries. I'm not seeing nothing yet with the huckleberries, but that's okay, because I am gonna do some propagating, and it might be on the huckleberries. I don't know. Okay, this is my chicken coop, you guys. It's on concrete, but I put all kind of stuff in there, straw, hay. I put compost in there. They get to pick through, eat worms, all that kind of stuff. I take care of them. They're healthy looking. I mean, they look a little shaggy now because they're molting, but usually when people come over, they just talk about how beautiful my chickens look. And I also ferment their food, which they waiting for me to. They're waiting for me. There it is. There, it's draining. They're waiting for me right now. Here's the area with trees I have. This is a tiger fig. I'm gonna be propagating off of this. That's 2 apple trees. I have an Anna and an Ian Shamir. This is a red ruby guava, and I'm actually air layering 2 of the branches to make trees. This is another cherry tree here, and this is my other cherry tree where I was showing you all the beautiful little blossoms all on it. Beautiful. This is gonna have, I mean, in another couple of weeks I'm gonna have cherries all over. This is a little thing I made last year, and I put tomatoes on it, and I grew tomatoes during the winter in my greenhouse. So I brought it out here for the summer, and I put 4 plants on it, and they're starting to do good. I'm seeing these stink bugs getting on here, so I got some organic spray that I can use to spray. This used to be the area where I would do my processing of chickens, but I'm not doing that no more until I buy me a plucker, automatic plucker. It just takes too much time. This is the area here. Now this is area here. I have I raise quail, because I sell baby quails all the time. Here's about I don't know, 20 of them in here right now. You get to see them. I gotta watch they don't jump out. They waiting to eat too. I got their little food thing out here. I gotta give them some food. And but I have 4 breeder cages, and I just sold a set to a lady who wanted some females and a male, so I sold some out of here, because I get plenty of birds all the time, so I'm all right with it. And but yeah, here's my breeders. This is an incubator I made, and I got eggs in it now. And today is Wednesday. Next Wednesday, the eggs will come out of that turner, and I'll put them in a hatch tray. And by the weekend, we'll start having some more babies. By then, I'm gonna have these down here in the grow bin, and yeah. So that's how that works. The eggs go in here. This is the brooder, which is on a timer. And if you just saw it, the light just came on, keeps it at a certain temperature in there. By the next week and the week after, when these eggs are ready, they're going to be ready to get off the light, and they'll be able to survive without the heat. Plus, it's not cold here anyway; it's hot anyway. This here's my aquaponics where I raise fish. I got catfish, and I got some bass in here. And I pump that water in here, and this thing gets full, and you'll see this. In another month or so, just everything's growing from seed. I got everything from seed. There's a couple of them that nothing happened, and I might just throw another seed or something in them if nothing did happen. That's the celery from the last harvest. And there was a smaller one. I need to get it out though. I put a light in here, grow light, because I had to block the sun from coming in. It was getting so much heat that I couldn't grow greens in here, and plus it was causing the water in my aquaponics to get algae on it. So algae was growing. So I blocked the heat, so I got the algae under control, and I pretty much got the heat under control because I run this fan to blow on the quail, plus it circulates the air in this area, and it really helps. And you can see the light. Well, okay. It really helps to keep this area cool enough where I have to grow greens. Well, I'm telling you to grow greens, in the summer. This is gonna be my first summer, you guys. I'm trying it. I'm attempting it to see if I can get this stuff to grow. I try to keep it as cool as I can. I do have another box fan that I might hang up here to blow directly on it to keep air circulating over it. Okay, so this is my little place, you guys. It's just a city-sized yard, and I got a lot crammed in here. I got a lot going on. This is my shop where I used to build cabinets and do things, and it's really probably just more like a vacant place right now. It gets infested with rats from time to time if I don't keep traps set in there. Because of the birds, I get those rats, and so anyway. But if we're going to be staying here, which we want to move, we have plans to move, and to get some more acreage. I need a little bit more, because we want to have a cow, and, some pigs, maybe some sheep, some goats. I don't know. We'll just see. But if something happens and we don't get the finances and we're not able to do it, then I'm going to take my shop here and I'm going to convert it into a microgreen farm, and I'm going to start growing microgreens in here. And when I do that, this area here where the doors are, that's actually going to come out. I'll open this up and I'm going to make this a cleaning station, because I need a cleaning station for out here. When I harvest stuff, I'm always bringing it inside. We get bugs inside. Even though I clean things off, the bugs, before I'm finished cleaning off, they crawl off, and we'll find them later on in the house. So I got to keep all this outside. So I want to open this up and make this a cleaning station. This whole building is 16 deep by 24 wide. So about where the door is, I'm going to wall it off and make that area the microgreen farm, and this front area is just going to be open, and this will be the cleaning station. So that's what's going on. I got this little area here where we can sit out here. My deck looks like a wreck because I've been working inside, outside. As you can see, I've been working on the house here, and I got to do this all the way around. And so I just throw all my tools out here, and the deck is kind of messed up. I got to redo the deck, so I'm working on everything. So we can sit out here and enjoy it out here, but this is not the time to sit out here and enjoy it. It'll be this fall, so I am going to be trying to time this out where I can get some of this done where we can sit out here when the fall comes. It's too hot to sit out here now. When we do, I'll set up the fan and put it over here and blow it on us while we're sitting out here. But we don't really come out here too much when it starts getting this hot. We're in Louisiana, and it gets really hot, and that's a little grill I made that we eat. In the fall, we cook on it probably just about every night. Keep the heat out of the house, and I know we should keep the heat out of the house now, but it's just too hot for me to set that up and stand in front of an open flame and cook. It's just too hot. Alright guys, so that's a little tour of what I got going in my little backyard. And my backyard, just this back area, is probably only about 40 by 55. And in that 40 by 55, I have my shop. I have this 12 by 8 area here. I have a 9 by 10 greenhouse. I got a 10 by 16 chicken coop. I got this area here and my deck. So I mean, when it comes to the square footage to grow stuff is very, very small, and so that's why I need to add another. I'm gonna add another elevated bed, and then I'm gonna use this area here to grow food for the animals. So that's the game plan, you guys. Trying to just show you a little tour of my place. And if you still live in the city, and you don't have to go all out like I'm actually dedicating my whole backyard to growing food, and for a place that if things get bad in the world, I got my little world going on here, and I'm growing things, small animals, and growing enough vegetables and growing fruit on trees and bushes that could sustain us through some rough times. Now, we might not be able to eat gourmet meals and eat a big meal, but if we ration what I'm doing back here, we can survive through any hardship that would go through. If any kind of food shortage, we would have things to eat here. And then that's why I'm getting into the superfood stuff like the moringa, the comfrey. I got some, and all these little berries and the elderberries, all that kind of stuff, because we want to be able to, if we're going to eat less, want to eat some food that's going to be impacting on our lives nutritionally. So, and then, plus growing everything organically is doing that too. So, it's awesome, guys. We love doing this. It took my wife a little while, a couple of years to kind of get on board with me with it, but hey, it's okay. It takes time for everybody. Everybody's at a different level, different place. You realize things that you have to give up things to live that way. But if things get really rough in life, guess what? Those things are going to be taken away. You won't be giving them up. They'll be taken away. And at least this way you can start easing yourself into it and learning about how to survive if something major happens in our country or the world, and we have food shortages. I mean, we're seeing even now things being hacked of gas, and I mean, so they can hack the food, the money, everything could be affected, and in a negative way in your life, and make life hard for you. And not that me having all this makes my life going to make my life easy. It's still going to be hard. I'm still going to experience that. But when it comes to food, the thing that you need to keep surviving, that's what I got going on here. Do I have everything I need? No, man. I really got to learn about one of my biggest things that's on my mind is two things. It's feeding the animals, because if you have animals and you want to keep reproducing animals for food, well, they got to eat. So that's why I'm going to dedicate that part of my yard, the only grass I really have, to growing food for the animals. But also want to get into, and I got a couple of rain barrels here, but one of them I fill up with water, and it feeds them, the chickens. And for the quail, I have 5-gallon buckets that I fill up. Now all of that needs to be able to be filled up with rainwater, everything. And I need to learn about collecting rainwater. I need to get me some, and if I don't get it, you can collect rainwater and drink it, you know what I mean, but I want to filter it. And so that's one of the next things that I'm going to be getting into. I bought me some solar panels and a solar generator, and so I have that. If I ever need it, I have it. Underneath this blue tarp here, I have a generator that I just bought. It's brand new. Never even cranked it up, and I'm not going to crank it up until I need it. But in my remodeling of all of this, I want to have this place somewhere, and I want to run a plug through the wall, a cord, something through the wall, a plug on the outside and the inside, that when the power goes out, I could turn this thing on, plug it into the plug, and then inside we can plug in and run extension cords and run whatever we got to run. So I'm still trying to figure that out in my head where I'm going to lay all that out at, but that's the plan. It's a 9,000 watt generator, and I'm waiting right now on a company that makes conversion kits for them, because I want to convert it to propane. I don't want to have jugs of gas hanging around. And my goal is to eventually buy a nice size tank. I don't know what size they come, 150, 200 gallon tank, because propane you can keep forever. It don't go bad. So that's part of it too. I want to get a tank, and again, just like it might get hard to get gas, it'll be hard to get propane. But if I got a big enough tank, we can ration the propane as we need it. We're not going to be running generator 24/7. We're only going to use very sparingly, so that everything lasts, because we don't know how long something could go through. How long, we could go through something that could be pretty bad. And if I run it constantly, I could possibly use all the propane up in a month, and then it's over with, or even a couple of weeks. I don't know. I don't know nothing about it. I don't know how quick all that gets used up. But so that's the purpose why I'm doing what I'm doing with my backyard. And look, I had a backyard one time. We had a swimming pool back here. The deck was all around it. I didn't have all of this. I added on to I had just a little single car garage that I did stuff in. This was all my yard here, and all of this was yard, and I didn't have concrete, and I had pretty gardens growing. And you came back here, it was beautiful back here to come sit back here, and it was so pretty. But you know what? All it did was nothing for us, as far as if we had to get into a survival mode. There was nothing here that would sustain us in any kind of way if we needed food. So I know maybe it's not appealing to some of y'all. When people come here to buy trees and they look over, they're amazed at what they see back here, and everybody wants to tour it. And I go through a little tour with everybody. Pretty much everybody that comes here to buy trees, when they get amazed at what they see here, that I got so much going on in this little bitty backyard, and because there's a lot going on here. And so you could do it too, and you could do it, whatever level you want to be at. Thing is, we have a mindset. We got to get our mindsets to change, you guys. You got to put yourself in a mode of total survival, because it's hard for us to do that living in America, because everything's been provided for us. And even when we have hard times like hurricanes and things that go on, food gets sent to churches, and they distribute food out, and so you can get a hold of food, and I get it. But you gotta almost be prepared just in case that doesn't happen and you can't get anything. And that's the thing. It's not a fear. I'm not afraid at all. I'm not afraid at all. I trust in God. My whole family would trust in God. I feel God leading me to do this. In 2019 is when it started. I didn't know that there was going to be a COVID thing going on. Nobody knew it then. But God was leading me to do this, and I started video and everything, and I redid my whole backyard. It was kind of videoing some things. Now, The early videos I never did get up because I didn't know how to edit, and took me months and months to learn how to edit. That's where I was at, you guys. I barely knew how to turn on a computer. I'm just telling you where I was at, you know. And so I learned how to edit with this program I have that comes with my little camera, which I can't add music, I can't add titles, so if I say something wrong and mess up, I can't go back in and type in, oh, I meant to say this. I can't do none of that. And so I need to get me something else and upgrade my editing. I know I need to do that. But because of how long it took me to learn how to do this, I just feel like, man, I just don't put the time in to go do that. I need to. I know I need to. I need to get better editing going on. And I am going to work on that eventually. But there's so much to do. When you start doing this, there's a lot to do. I'm fortunate I'm able to stay home and work from my house because I sell trees from here. And if I didn't do that, I still worked from my house because I always worked for myself. I did construction and I did maintenance on apartments and things like that. And I always got calls to go do work. I don't get calls anymore. People know I'm not doing that anymore. I've had calls. I turned down work. I had customers, people that I always did stuff for, you know, probably several times a year, every year. And they wouldn't ask money, come do this. And then you do it and you give them the bill. So you never lost money any kind of way. They paid for all the material and they paid for your time. And you never would lose on it when you build up a little clientele like that. But I'm not doing that anymore. Totally dependent upon selling trees. Totally. And that's what I do. I sell trees, I sell bushes. I'm in search always of trying to find things to purchase to grow in the greenhouse. Like I got the vanilla. Now, it's going to take several years for that to get going, but hey, I got it going. And if it don't die, in 2 years, I'm going to start having beans, vanilla beans, and I'll be cutting off pieces and making new plants off of it. And so, yeah, it takes time, but it takes time for everything. It takes time for your trees to get fruit on it, you know. That's why I encourage people, get fruit trees and get them planted. Once you get them planted, there ain't a whole lot you got to do to them. It ain't like you know, having a garden. It's a whole lot easier than having a garden. Is to grow trees and grow berry bushes, things that's going to produce berries and fruit every year. It's a lot easier to take care of, and that gives you a lot of fruit. Like I said, this year off my peach tree, over 250 peaches. Now we took about 150 inside. The other ones were lost from falling on the ground, bugs getting in them, raccoon coming and eating them, and then I would take those and I'd feed them to the quail and feed them to the chickens. So it worked out good. They got to eat some of it, and but we got to eat a lot of it too, you know. So next year is going to be the year that I'm going to have a lot more fruit on my trees than this year, because that my trees are getting established in the ground, getting established, and yeah. So next year is even going to be better as far as the amounts of fruit that's going to come off my trees. All right, guys, I just wanted to give you a little tour of my place for all you newbies that's on. Yeah, I don't have a whole lot of subscribers, but man, if you haven't subscribed, man, please subscribe to my channel. It would help me out. Even hit the like button. That'll help get me out. And share this with any of your friends, especially like this video. You can show people that just have a regular city-sized yard what you can do. Now, if you gotta, you know, I got me a rooster. I'm not really supposed to have roosters, but if you don't really disturb people, it'll be okay. So I got him a little collar around his neck, and it keeps him from crowing. Now he does crow, and I've heard him crow at 4 in the morning, but it's not loud at all. And I hear it because my bedroom window's right there, and that's my window in my room. Is not a new window. It's an old window. It's a single pane, so I can hear him really well. When I changed the windows, I didn't do that one because I got to do some remodeling, and I'm going to put a new window in. But yeah, he's not no louder than what you hear in the hens do. So that's good. So I can be able to keep him and to reproduce some chickens. And his breed is the Buff Orpington, and they're a do-purpose bird. They kind of on the big side. They're not like a meat chicken, but they're big enough where you probably, after you butcher them, you can get you a 3 to 4 pound bird, and then he can reproduce from me, and I can have baby chickens, and we can start reproducing chicken meat. And yeah, so that's the plan. That's what I'm doing. I want to encourage you guys to even start maybe thinking in your mind and what things you can do. You might not want to sell out your whole backyard. That's fine. But start somewhere. You know, I'll just give you a little clue real quick. When I first moved in here, it's 1991. The following year, one of my daughters, my middle daughter, is an animal lover. And we had cockatiels we were raising in here. We were breeding cockatiels. I was selling them to the pet stores. Along this fence here, I had cages with rabbits, and we were raising rabbits, and I was selling the rabbits. Then, in between the garage and my fence, as you can see right here, I made a roof. They're still there. I roofed the whole thing. And in the back, I had put some chicken wire, and I made a door right here. And that was the beginnings of me getting chickens. That was my chicken coop. Now, some people might say, "Oh, poor birds." Well, you got to start when you're in the city. You got to start somewhere. So let's say if you you have a garage in your backyard, and you have that area on one side and the back of your garage, man, you can actually utilize that space. I have behind here. I have roof. I only did a roof back there because I used to stash a lot of my tools and stuff back there years ago, 30 years ago. I don't really go back there now, but I am going to be making access to get back there because there is roof back there, and I'm going to utilize all my space. So I have the roof coming from the building, tying into the top of the fence, and the metal goes right past the fence, so it just runs right down on the other side of the fence. Okay, yeah, in the neighbor's yard, yeah. But you got an overhang on your garage, so a lot of it gets blocked anyway, so you're just really getting what comes off the roof, you know, and a little bit more, not much more. But it keeps it dry for you to have some chickens in there. And I got 16 chickens. I really don't need that many. I got so many eggs, it's crazy. It might benefit me. Well, it does. I give eggs away to people that are in need of food. One of my daughters has 5 kids, and I give them a lot of eggs. But you could start off small. You know, you start off with, you know, a half a dozen hens. Just get your hens, and hens will lay eggs. You don't need a rooster. I don't know if, you know, for those of y'all, you know, not knowledge on that, you don't need a rooster. All you need is hens, and they lay. And they just about lay almost every day. And so I'm just saying that because you can have chickens and put them around the outer edge of your garage in your backyard and not even take up any of your space in your yard. But anyway, okay, so that's what I got going. You don't have to do everything I'm doing, but maybe you want to get you some chickens to start. And then I would encourage you to start purchasing bushes, excuse me, and you can put those on the edges of your property. But anyway, you know, start small. You know, just get started. And like I said, if you do trees, once you get your trees planted, you know, it's going to take you 2 years before you see fruit, and then 4 years is when you're really going to be established in the ground, and you're getting nice harvest off your trees. And then you can, you know, there's so much information online, you guys, that you can go learn how to keep care of your trees with the things you got to do. And believe me, what it takes to take care of your trees is nowhere near the work it takes to take care of a garden and to keep having gardens, that's a lot of work. And I'm not trying to discourage you from it, but I want to say you can make it easy. One way of making it easy is doing elevated beds. And actually, I totally recommend elevated beds in a city backyard for sure. Now, when I get my property, I'm going to still make elevated beds just because I like working up that high. Or I just make a raised beds that's that high. You know what I mean? Just fill it all in with soil. You know, either way, I'm making them. I'm putting them up high. But what's good about in a backyard setting is, you know, when you have a garden on the ground, you can't really do much. Like it takes up all your grass. Okay, it's like, for instance, when I do this, it takes up this whole area. Now, if I had all grass in my backyard, it would still take up that whole area, but then I could let my chickens free range in this area. But I don't have that. And so that's why I recommend if you had these like this in your city-sized backyard, you got grass growing all around it, all under it. You got what I'm saying? If you did let your chickens free range, you still got plenty of grass for them, because you might have to let them free range. And it's actually better to let them range some. Now, you'd have to, if you got, you know, your gardens, you'd have to definitely put some chicken wire around it, make cages around your garden so that they don't jump in there and start eating it, because I did that one year, and they wiped out all my asparagus, and they wiped out all my strawberries. And I wasn't even aware. And I came out when they did it so quick on me. I wasn't even aware. I kind of was like listening to YouTube and all that, and let my chickens out, let them run loose. Oh man, well, because I didn't have much grass, they jumped up here on all my elevated beds and started eating all my plants. So I lost a lot. But anyway, it's a lesson learned. So I kind of recommend elevated beds over raised beds, especially in the city, and especially if you're getting up in age and it's harder to bend over. Especially if you hate weeding, because you get a whole lot less weeds in it, and it's a whole lot easier to weed it. You're not bending over. It's really easy to take care of them. Really easy. Now you got to do some maintenance on them, as you can see on this one here. See the top row of wood is changed out. I'm going to have to, when the fall comes, I'm going to be changing this top row, because you can see here, look. See how it's moving? It gets rotted out. Now you say, what about the bottoms? Well, I'm going to show you that on my video, why the bottoms are not rotting out. Okay? I'll show you on my video what I do. And my bottoms are protected, actually. And I just have to change the tops. So, anyway, alright guys, I'm gonna go, and those kind of getting long. I gotta feed my chickens, get them their food. Let me go give it to them, because they're wondering what's going on, why I haven't fed them yet. Come on, my ladies. Come on, my ladies. Alright, come on, let's go. Let's go. Come on. Come on. Come on. Here. So. I could put all that food in there, and they just love to get that little bit of food that's right at the edge of the door. It's amazing how they are, but that's how they are. Alright guys, I got a lot to do today. Let me get busy. I'm glad you got to spend the morning with me. I hope you get encouraged to start growing food, getting yourself prepared and get yourself ready, so you're not totally dependent upon the grocery store. There could be a day where the grocery store is going to shut down for a while, before things get going, and you'll have to be finding people that are growing in their yards, growing in little small farms, and try to bargain and try to barter with things, to trade, to get food. You never know, it could get to that way. I hope it don't. I'm ready if it does. Well, I'm getting ready. If it does, hey, I'm still going to have, I'm still going to struggle with stuff. It's going to be hard. I'm not trying to say that what I'm doing here is going to make life easy, but it'll make it easier, okay? Because we're already eating off of the land here. We're already eating chickens from the backyard. We're already eating quail from the backyard. I haven't gotten to the fish yet. They haven't grown big enough, but that's the next thing, to be eating some fish. And I got room also for rabbits, because nothing's going to grow against my house over there, and I'm thinking about putting some metal along the house to protect the house, and putting some rabbit cages along the house right there, because they're going to pee on it, and I could protect it. I could put the metal on the back of the cage. I'll figure it out when I get to that point, but I do have that row there. I could put rabbits, and I could raise meat rabbits, and like I said, I want to do 2 pigs back here. And that would actually really take up everything that I'm doing in my yard. And then that would leave the garage, my shop, to convert to a microgreen farm. So, alright guys, and that's going to be me having to save seeds to get that going. Right now you can buy seeds, but let's say if the day comes you can't, I'm already have seeds saved, So, alright guys, I'm going to end it now. Sorry for rambling on so long. But I want you guys to be blessed, and give me some comments below, man. If you learned anything off of this, or if you got encouraged by anything, let me know. Because I've been doing it since 2019, but I'm not a big channel. I'm not known. Nobody knows about me. Just 220 people know, and I don't even know if they all even watch it. But anyway, guys, y'all be blessed. See you on the next video.